Welcome to the Seed Creative Podcast, the podcast where we discuss both video production and just life in general. The goal of this podcast is the same as the goal of our business, to make a difference in people's lives. What's going on, everybody? George Edmondson here with the Seed Creative Podcast. I'm going to jump right into it today because I'm really excited to have our guest. This is something that I've wanted to do for quite a while, and basically no one ever wants to be on our podcast until we met this guy here, and we met you at a chamber event, a Chamber of Commerce event. I've preached a lot about being part of the chamber, but why don't you tell us your name, who you are, and your company?
So I'm Daniel Barnett. I'm the owner of RTR Pro Entertainment. We are a DJ, lighting, sound, audio, photo booth company. Really, within events, we can do just about anything. So.
Sweet. When we were at the chamber event, I met you, and we're going to first talk about this because we are a video and photo company, and you had this awesome contraption. Tell us a little bit about that and the services that you guys offer.
Yeah, so at the chamber event, it was actually twofold. So we DJ'd. So I had a DJ up there in the front, just playing tunes as people were coming in, just kind of background music. But then out in the lobby, we had a touchscreen photo booth where for that night, it was just we were taking pictures and texting them, but you can also like have them physically printed out, emailed. There's a lot of cool different options that you have with that. And then we also do like 360 photo booths.
Okay.
That's more of a video booth, but they're getting pretty popular for weddings and
How long have
events.
How long have you been in business?
2019. So
really?
Yeah.
Pretty new.
Yeah. 2019, it was actually March 8th, so I'm coming up on 4 years and just
Awesome.
like a week.
Yeah, dude. Congrats.
Yeah.
How has it been running a business, especially basically starting right when COVID hits? You're like, hey, let's start a business that's completely like dependent on groups of people. And then what, a year in?
Yeah.
Like COVID had. Tell us a little bit about that.
So it was actually kind of a blessing in disguise. So we started 2019, and then 2020, the world shut down, but we were still small enough at the time to where we could kind of just hunker down because obviously we weren't solely supported by the business at that point. So we just kind of did what we could. What's crazy is we still doubled in 2020 what we did in 2019.
Wow.
And then it's been, we just kind of kept our heads down till the world opened back up. And then it went from me and one other guy who's now my co-owner.
Nice.
So his name's Isaac Walls, and went from just me and him kind of running and gunning weddings to now we have 10 DJs on staff with us. We're based here in Tuscaloosa. Okay. We also have a location in Hamilton, Alabama, and then we also have a location in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Sweet. Okay.
So
yeah, dude.
It was just like the floodgates opened after the world reopened,
Yeah.
and it's been really fun.
Okay, so what does RTR stand for?
I'm born and raised right here in Tuscaloosa, so for me, it's Roll Tide Roll. But for anybody who's maybe not an Alabama fan, it's Reception to Remember.
Gotcha.
So I mean, we started out doing weddings, receptions. So it was like, hey, up in Tennessee,
and legally, it's Receptions to Remember, I'm sure. I don't know if we can do. Are you allowed to do Roll Tide Roll?
No,
maybe, I don't know.
No. Legally, it's RTR.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So, on legal papers, it's just those four,
sweet.
those three letters.
Yeah.
So, and then I checked all the copyrights, and as long as I had that Pro Entertainment to the end,
you're good.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude.
I'm not affiliated with the University of Alabama.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
I just thought it would be like, let's make it completely crystal clear.
Absolutely.
So if someone sees this, they're not getting upset about it. All right. So why don't we go back a little bit? So you said, in 2019, 2020, you weren't being fully sustained by the business just yet. What is your background? Like, where do you come from? And then why did you decide to take the jump into owning your own business?
Yeah, absolutely. So born and raised, like I said, here in Tuscaloosa, actually in Cottondale. So
me too. Well, I wasn't born and raised, but I live in Cottondale.
Yeah, so
Contondale.
Yep. So my entire childhood spent right here, and then in 2011, which was like literally like 2 weeks after the tornadoes came through is when I graduated. And then I wound up moving to North Alabama and went to the University of North Alabama. And while I was there, I've always been like the life of the party. And I mean, if there's going to be somebody to step out and make something happen, I feel like I was always the guy to do it. So in college, it was just natural for me to, whenever we were in gatherings or parties, like I was always the center of attention.
Nice.
Like, let me grab the microphone. If there's going to be somebody with a lampshade on their head, it's going to be me.
Sweet.
And that just kind of led to me emceeing a lot of fraternity and sorority parties up at the University of North Alabama. And then I started actually doing events for the university. Graduated from there in 2016 and then moved over to Huntsville. I got my marketing degree from UNA and then was in Huntsville, was working a director of sales job, doing marketing and things like that. And then just doing the DJ stuff on the side.
Yeah.
And in 2019, I was like, you know what? I don't like the corporate world. I don't like the 8 to 5, just the, day in, day out. You're just kind of going
Punching
through the
a clock,
oh, yeah. It
basically.
sucked.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's a risk, but let's do it. So started it. And then in 2020, I wound up moving back to Tuscaloosa. And just because of COVID, actually, I got a job at a gym, just doing like the management and stuff of it, and just was doing my business, growing my business, and it did awesome through 2022. January 1 of this year is when I officially went full time. Like I don't do anything else.
That's awesome.
And it's really cool to say, you're a full time DJ, production, like that's
and
what
you're
you
actually
do.
making a living.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like.
So do you have any, are you married? Do you have any kids?
Yeah, I just got married in October.
Awesome. Congrats.
October 8th, yeah. Her name's now Taylor Barnett, and she's awesome. So we don't have any kids yet, don't have any pets.
Does she help with the company at all, or does she?
So she actually owns her own business.
Sweet.
Which was really convenient.
Couple of entrepreneurs.
Exactly. So I'm like, you get what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So she does that, and then she's also on staff at a place called Church of the Highlands.
Oh yeah, I know where that is. Yep.
So she does. She's one of the vocal directors there.
Okay.
So she does a lot of music and things like that. So she actually sings at weddings.
Yeah.
And she's actually sang at several weddings that we've done the ceremony and sound and the reception for. So it's been kind of cool that like,
dude, that's perfect.
Yeah, our lives have kind of intermingled in that way. Yeah.
Dude, I think the coolest part so far that I've heard about your story is that you were always the life of the party, being the goofy one, being the silly one, and then it just was like so natural and organic for you to do this and make a career out of it.
Absolutely.
And it's similar. I mean, people have heard my story on this podcast a million times. I don't have to go into it, but just for you, like, it was similar. I was always running around with a camera, making silly videos or making family videos, and not even once did I consider making it a career.
Yeah.
Until my wife thought of it, and it was like a light bulb, like, oh, you can make money and do this. I was just doing it for fun, for free.
Absolutely.
So I love that, man. I feel like a lot of like small business owners, it's a very similar. They just do something because they love it and they're willing to take a risk.
Absolutely.
So what would you say if anyone is listening to this that maybe, hasn't jumped into owning their own business, and it doesn't have to be, we've talked about this, it doesn't have to be just video production on our podcast. I know that our worlds are very similar, but at the same time, it's completely different.
Yeah.
In the business model and the customers that we have. But what would you say to someone who is listening to this? Maybe they're sitting at their desk right now at that job that they just don't really, they don't really want to be at. What would you say to them?
If you don't do it, you'll never know.
Yeah.
So for me, it was, I was in a comfortable spot. I really didn't, I wasn't forced into this, but it was just like, I knew that this was what was making me happy. I knew that this was where my passion was. This is where, I loved putting my energy into. And when I saw that there were other guys doing it full time, I said, well, it's because you don't really. I mean, there's not many of us out there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You might have somebody who, like, you know, they have a great Spotify playlist, or, you know what I'm saying, they're the guy who always like runs sound at this. But as far as like professional entertainment, DJs, I mean, you just don't meet them every day.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, man, how does this even work? Like, what does this look like? How do I build this thing to be sustainable for me? And then I don't know, if you do your research, you know, there's a lot of people out there doing a lot of different things in a lot of cool ways. So I just kind of piggybacked off of some of the guys I saw off of YouTube and
Yep.
Instagram and stuff like that. And then I still don't feel like there's like a blueprint to doing it. Like we're still, I mean, we're a multi-op. I went from just me and one other guy to now we have 10 DJs working for us.
Right.
We're doing, you know, 5-6 events right now on a given Saturday.
That's amazing.
And it's like, okay, so now if we scale up more, what does that look like? Okay,
Yeah.
now we're in Chattanooga. And then also you think about like, you know, just quality, you know, how do you make sure that there's a standard that everybody's operating at?
Yeah.
But honestly, I love that stuff too. Like,
Dude, I love that you're naturally going into some of my next questions, which were gonna be. This is so weird, but like I love logistics.
yeah,
I love it. I know that doesn't. A lot of people are like, "What? Like, what is logistics?" Like, yeah. But I don't know, man. Like when I worked for UPS, like that was part of my job, was like the logistics side of things. And so why don't you talk about? There's two things that I want to get into. The chamber being part of it, but let's talk about like the logistics. Like, how do you manage 6 events a weekend? Like that's crazy in and of itself. And then also like, how did you scale? If you don't mind sharing, what are your future plans for continuing to scale and maintaining quality? Because that's a struggle that we've even had internally at Seed Creative, is finding the right people that you know are going to produce the quality that your customers expect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because like at the end of the day, the more we do, the easier it is to let things slip through the cracks.
Oh, 100%.
So let's talk about logistics and talk about scalability while maintaining quality.
So, for me, I wouldn't say like I had a master plan. Things just kind of fell into place, but I actually have kind of a core team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's made up of, 7 people, and those people all have strengths that I don't have. So I am definitely like the dreamer, the big picture guy. I'm the pine. We're going bigger. We're going greater.
Yeah.
We're going to the next level. And then I'm not. I mean, I do follow details, but I have people who that's what they dream of when they wake up in the morning. Like they love going through and doing, all the little bitty things. So it's like
spreadsheets and stuff like that. Yeah.
So I mean, I've put myself around people that definitely have major strengths where I don't have those major strengths.
Awesome.
And it's really helped everything smooth out. So even my co-owner is like, dude, and what's funny is like, I would say he is way more like where I'm kind of like this larger than life, like super fun guy. He can still be fun, but then he's also thinking about 10 other things that I'm not even thinking about. And then I have a communications and marketing director, and she loves the contracts. She loves the making sure that every I's dotted, every T is crossed, so nothing's missed.
Yep.
And so as far as that, it's like it's been cool just to kind of see this team kind of unintentionally come together. That's really helped solidify and really make us stronger than I could have ever done on my own.
Absolutely. So delegating tasks.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. Same on this end, dude. And that is the scalability side of it,
Mhm.
right?
Exactly.
Is finding those people that you can trust, that you know how to do it. So with that said, how did you find 10 DJs that you knew are going to interact with? Like, dude, those are little things that I'm already thinking about. Like, it's not just the playlist. It's how are they interacting with people who all have completely different tastes, who all have completely different expectations. how do you find those people, and how do you make sure that they're going to be able to adequately communicate with your customers on behalf of RTR Pro Entertainment?
Yeah, at the beginning, it was them finding us, and I guess technically kind of it still is that way. But because I wasn't
That means they're hungry, though, dude. They're
exactly
seeking you out. That's
so
great.
so for me, it was like in the beginning, it was never like, oh man, I'm going to turn this into a multi-op DJ company where we're going to be doing a bunch of events at the same time. It was like it was just me and Isaac, and then actually my first one was my cousin Landon, who's now our head DJ. Like he's like over training, he helps us
Awesome.
train guys
Yeah,
and stuff
dude.
like that. But he comes on board, and then it's the three of us, and then another guy got added, and then another guy got added, and then it's just like, okay, now we're this like small team, and we're kind of like teaching the guys from the ground up, really. So I mean, they would, because you got people coming in, if you don't know them, don't trust them, you can't know that they're going to do it to the way you want to do it, treat the people the way that they need to be treated. So, so it's been cool, just kind of seeing that and just knowing. I mean, there's some intangibles. You got to have good music taste.
Yeah.
You got to have mic skills. The DJ skills, I mean, it's great, but a lot of that can be taught.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So
It's personality.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like your personality is going to make or break you. So
Yeah.
come in, we'll see if you have the raw materials, and let's see if we can, turn you into something. And we've had guys who we've taken chances on, and they've blown our minds. And then we have some guys come in, say, hey, you want to do this? And then we've kind of put them through the test, and it's like, well, don't really think this is for you. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I understand. Yeah. There can be people that are completely talented, uniquely talented, very gifted, but when their people skills or their expectations aren't, adequate for what you're trying to achieve, that matters more.
Exactly.
100%. The way that they treat people, the way that they make the customer feel matters more. The way that they even are able to overcome obstacles, to me, is more important than doing everything almost right every time.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, there are going to be issues. How do you handle that? How do you present yourself when you're facing a problem that you have to overcome in front of a client?
Yeah.
That makes a big, big difference.
Oh, when the pressure's on, that's everything.
Dude, yeah.
It's like, how do you
freak
act?
out, it's like, what are they going to do?
It's like, and the thing is, it's like, for us, if you're at a wedding, it's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't get a second shot.
Nope.
It's like, you got a audience there watching you, and if you don't perform, if you don't do it right that time, every one of those people, they're going to leave with a bad impression.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just guys who can carry that weight of, okay, I don't get an off day. Like, I've got to be on every time that I suit up and we go out and do an event.
Yeah.
So, and that's just how it is. And that's what we communicate to our guys. Like, which, don't get me wrong, I mean, with technology, anything could happen,
Right.
So I'm thinking something like crazy, like out of the blue happens. We're not like, okay, if you mess up, you're fired.
Yeah.
It's like, look, we're all humans. If it's something that can, like, either you can learn from, or we can grow from this experience, and this isn't just a character flaw, or, you know what I'm saying, you're just not cut out for this. I mean, we're willing to.
So you set up, I'm getting like deep in the weeds right now, but have you set up contingency plans if, let's say, they're at a wedding, things are going great, and then a speaker blows, or just anything, something's not communicating and you're not getting, your board isn't working right. Like, do y'all have contingency plans in place?
Dude, we have backup plan after backup plan, and that's part of the training. Like, we're not gonna send them out there until there's like, okay, here's 5 different ways that we're gonna continue having music playing.
Yep.
To where if all these fail, it was destined by God.
If all these fail, you get them in a circle, get them all to clap their hands, and you just have to know some music. You just gotta sing to them.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going a cappella. Dude, what if your contingency plan was a cappella? Like, you got them all in a circle, you just bring a guitar out, and just go for it.
It's like, when it all fails, these are the songs that you personally are going to sing.
Dude, I dare you to do that to your next person that you're training and just be so serious and just see how they react?
Just give them music. Learn these songs.
Yeah, like a sheet music.
And if everything fails, these are the songs you're going to sing to the crowd. They're like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
I'm out. Peace. Oh my gosh. All right, man. So like I said, we met at the chamber. What is it specific? So I'm assuming you're a chamber member.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, a chamber ambassador now.
Chamber ambassador. So why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because I have talked, I mean, I don't even know how many episodes of this podcast we have now, but I would say probably 5 or 6 of these episodes I've specifically told people, get involved with your chamber of
100%.
commerce wherever you are. Oh my gosh, it makes a difference.
Oh, it does. Which, I mean, especially for anybody out there who's starting a business, the name of the game is networking. That's why, dude, there's other great DJs here in Tuscaloosa, and it's like knowing the guys who are in your industry.
Yeah.
And number one, I love the guys that are here in Tuscaloosa. Actually, they're all really cool dudes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the competition that I have here.
Yeah.
Number one, a lot of them have been doing a lot longer than I have, so they're way more experienced. Not that we can't do just as good of a job, but you know what I'm saying? But it's just cool to know those dudes and like really have a personal connection. But the chamber, they get you in front of everybody.
Yeah.
It's not industry exclusive. Like, you're going to get to talk from, restaurant industries to corporate industries to everything. And that's been the best thing about the chamber for me is I've really dialed in on they do a thing called Chamber After Hours, where it's basically just a networking event where
you literally just go hang out and talk to people.
Exactly.
And they know, this is the coolest part about this. They know why you're there.
Mm-hmm.
You're there to meet them and maybe do business together.
Exactly.
It's not weird for you to walk up and hand them a business card and be like, this is what I do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
it's awesome.
And if anything, it's encouraged.
Yeah.
So for me, it's been awesome to just go to those events because, I guess you can start a business if you're an introvert. It's not required to be an extrovert, but if you can get out and be outgoing and talk to every person and let them know who you are and what you do, I feel like that's where I've seen a lot of my success too.
And guess what? If you can't do that, you can delegate to someone that can.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so true.
So it's like if you have social anxiety, look, I understand. I know people. It's a very real thing. But you have someone that you can trust that can go in your place.
Yeah.
Dude, like I've thought of so many ideas. It's like, okay, you're starting out. You have no money to pay them. That's cool. There are things called commissions. If they can go to a chamber event for you, if they can learn enough about your business to get your name in front of someone and then you make the sale, give them 5%, 10%.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So there are creative ways. If you struggle with that, if you think I'm not a salesperson, I'm a numbers cruncher or, whatever, delegate.
Yeah.
Find someone that's willing to take a risk with you as well if you can't pay them up front. I've told this story. Adam, when he started, he's full-time with Seed Creative now for like 4 years or something. I don't even know. When he came, he started for free. Like he was like, I just want to do something with you and work with you. And he worked for free for probably like 2 or 3 weeks before we started paying him.
Yeah.
Jacob Cantrell is a guy that works with us. He started for free. Gavin started for free. He's out there setting up for videos right now.
That's awesome.
When I brought Nick in, it was intentional, but Nick didn't come in making any kind of good money.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like probably barely above minimum wage at the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's like, with that said, like delegate, work with people that you can trust and send them to those chamber events.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Let them be your face.
Oh yeah. I just happen to be the guy that loves being
Same.
Dude, because
I'm cool with it. I like talking to people, so it kind of worked out.
Dude, the annual event, like I don't know how many people were at that chamber, like 500 people.
Yeah.
And
it was sold out.
Dude, I loved it. I saw that room of people. I'm like, these are a bunch of people I get to talk to.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so excited. So,
and the annual event, you may have seen, but like all of the videos that are shown, we produce all the videos.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, and we do that for, well, I'm going to say for free. It's not for free, but we do that in exchange for an annual membership, but we put it as a marketing expense.
Nice.
So whatever we spend, last year I spent, dude, I don't even know. It was probably close to $10,000 on all of the content that we ended up creating. Seed Creative paid for this.
Yeah.
In it, so the value exchange is obviously it doesn't cost $10,000 to be a chamber member.
Yeah.
But I put it as a marketing expense, and we're marketing to 500 plus
Absolutely.
of the actual decision makers of all of the big businesses in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And it pays off every year. Every year that we do it, someone sees one of those videos. We put our name up there, Seed Creative Video Production. They seek us out, they find us, and we do business with them.
Dude, that's sick.
And so it works out tremendously well. Like I said, we just count it as marketing, and that's basically the only real marketing we do every year for the entire year.
Wow.
Everything else is just word of mouth.
Dude, you know what's crazy? I had no clue that y'all did that, but literally at the chamber, I was thinking like, man, these are really, really well produced videos.
Yeah, that's us.
That's so cool that that's y'all.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, where do they get this? Do they come here to do that?
Yeah, either they come here or we go there. I think so. What's funny is this year was actually a smaller thing. We need to show you all the videos from like the years prior.
Yeah.
Because you will freak out. This year was different. They all came here. They were very quickly produced. Because it was the senator's kind of retirement party. It doubled this year.
Yeah.
And so we didn't do as much this year. It's to make time for the senator's retirement party.
Yeah.
But all of the years prior and then the years moving forward, we do like big videos. We do funny videos. I'm going to show you some of them when we're done.
Please.
And you're going to love them. But yeah, so anyway, so that's how we got involved with the chamber. And the first year, I've told this story, but the first year we did it, we got BF Goodrich as a client, and they're still a client to this day.
Man.
And that was like 7 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And so, so it works. And I knew that you were heavily involved with the chamber, so I wanted to get that plug in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we wrapped it up today, but I gave a pause. That was on purpose.
Okay.
Hey Nick, are there any other questions or thoughts that you have, or should I just kick it over to him and let him, if there's anything he wanted to chat about, and then we'll be wrapped? Okay, I left a gap, so give me a second. All right, dude. Yeah, the chamber is incredible. So, with that said, man, I think that I've learned enough about you to say, I think that we'll probably be talking more in the future. Dude, thank you so much for being on the Seed Creative Podcast. I'm glad that we met you at the chamber event, and then you were coincidentally, like a week later, you were doing an event at this space right beside us.
Yeah.
And I walked in and I was like, hey, chamber guy. And I was like, come see our studio. You didn't even know we were over here. So, and we talked about the podcast, and I was like, hey, you can be on one. And here we are. Like, it just was random.
Boom.
So we're about to head out, dude. We've got videos to do. I know you've got work to do, but where can people find you? Where can people learn more about you? Social media, website, all that jazz.
Yeah, you can find our website is www.rtrproentertainment.com. All of our social medias are RTR Pro Entertainment. If you type in RTR Pro Entertainment, we should be the ones to pop up.
And currently, the areas that you service are?
We are in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We service really all of Alabama, East Mississippi, Georgia. We're in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So, honestly, guys, if you reach out to us and want to book an event, we travel all over.
Yep.
We're going to Kentucky in 2 weeks.
I hear you. We were in Oklahoma recently. We were going to Cincinnati in a few months. Like, yeah, we're all over the place too.
So
awesome.
If y'all want us, reach out to us.
Sweet. All right. Once again, this is George Edmondson with the Seed Creative Podcast. We appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe, follow, email nick@yourseedmedia.com for any questions, thoughts. If you want to be on the podcast, shoot us an email, because Nick is always fussing at me that we need to have more content. So, all right, peace. This podcast was produced by Nick Golden with executive producer George Edmondson, edited by Nick Golden and Gavin Manning. Be sure to subscribe, drop a like and a comment. Tune in every Monday for brand new podcast content, and we'll see you on the next one.